Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brothers and sisters. All of you listening in right now, you're listening to Zed on the Drivetime Haj Radio today. MashaAllah. Tomorrow, inshallah, is Eid. And the all famous question, is Eid on Tuesday or Eid is on Wednesday? No, Eid is not on Tuesday, not on Wednesday. Some joker always comes along and says Eid is on Thursday. Of course, tomorrow. Today is the day of Arafat, so generally when we do Eid, we always pray, or some mosques will pray one day after, one day before. Nothing to worry about, that's quite normal. So today is day of Arafat, and I've got a brother here with me joining us in the studio, brother Imtiaz. So, Brother Imtiaz, if you'd like to give yourself a little bit more of an introduction, because in Leicester we already have about 1,250, if not more, brothers called Imtiaz. And somebody's out there thinking, do I know this brother called Imtiaz?
No, I don't think they will know me. I'm from London, and I've come over to celebrate Eid with my family here in Leicester. So today is the day of Arafat, so alhamdulillah, most of us are fasting, inshallah. And tomorrow will be Eid, even though, as Zed said, a lot of other masjids, I'm getting all calls from WhatsApps and everywhere else saying, is it tomorrow or is it Wednesday? And obviously you do get those jokers as well that says Thursday. But the day of Arafat is the day of Hajj. Now the day after Arafat is Eid. So inshallah, tomorrow, Wednesday, the 20th of July, is Eid, inshallah. And inshallah, we'll be going to some park in the open to pray our Eid Salah with my family, inshallah.
Of course, that is in Leicester, yes?
In Leicester, yes.
And in Leicester, as all of you know, Victoria Park, and also the Eid festival will take place there. Eid prayer and a festival will happen there from 9 a.m. onwards. The first prayer starts at 9 a.m., and that is Eid tomorrow at Victoria Park. Of course, if you drove past there, you saw a lot of activities going on there. They're setting up the whole hall there. Well, we call it a hall, but it's a tent. And it's going to be, inshallah, a very good day tomorrow. So if anyone would care to check what the weather is going to be like tomorrow, that'll be wonderful. Looks like it's going to be a good day, Brother Imtiaz.
Absolutely. It's been scorching all weekend, and I'm sure tomorrow is not going to rain. I'm sure it's going to be a very hot day tomorrow as well, inshallah.
Now, as a normal custom here, day before Eid, we always tell the listeners to call in and to let us know what goodies you're going to bring in here to the studio. You can bring them in today, I don't mind, and you can text us on 07748 855 055, or you can call in on 0116 482 2086. Now, if any of you would like to call in and would like to wish Eid Mubarak to anyone listening right now, you're free to do so and ask any question that you would like to do so, and we're happy here to answer them. And now, Brother Imtiaz, have you been to Hajj?
Alhamdulillah, I've been twice for Hajj.
MashaAllah, those who have been twice or 3 times or 4 times are very fortunate. Of course, 1 time is absolutely important. If you can afford it, go once. And how did that experience enlighten you the first time and the second time?
Well, I'll explain. The first time, obviously, I went with my wife, and at that time, I wasn't very knowledgeable of what to do at Hajj time, and it was all about just getting there, doing whatever everyone else tells you to do. But the second time, when I went with my wife again, then I was more clued up of what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. And during the days of Arafat, which is the most important day of everyone's life, it is all about doing as much du'as and as much supplication as possible. So that time round, the second time round, I was much more at ease. I was much more what to do and what not to do. When the first time round, it was just like lazing about, sleeping because of the lack of food, the lack of sleep, and the heat out there as well. It was mainly about just getting passed through the day. But the second time round, alhamdulillah, I was really clued up, and I was just encouraging everyone that this is the day you're going to be like a newborn baby as soon as you leave this day. So it was all about doing as much supplication and much du'as as possible. And if you can get to the Arafat point, which is the mount, if you can get there, which our tent, alhamdulillah, was right across the road from there, so we didn't have to travel very far. And when there were people sleeping, and lying down and relaxing. I said, brother, it's 24 hours this day. Take as much opportunity as you can to do as much as you can, because you'll never, ever get this day again. Allah knows best.
Of course, now we have COVID, and last year also we were in the midst of COVID, and Hajj has never been like that as far as I can remember the last 100 years, right? So this year only a select number of people, I think the quantity I read was 60,000 can only come to Hajj, as opposed to 3 million, which is the normal figure, the number of people that come to Hajj, right? So it's a huge difference, isn't it? The effect of COVID has been absolutely felt worldwide.
Absolutely. The thing with COVID last year, so many people had booked to go. And unfortunately, as soon as March kicked in and the lockdown started, unfortunately, the people that had booked and already paid for it, unfortunately, it was not. Inshallah, Allah will accept their ibadah and accept their the intention they had was to go. Then Allah would accept that as well, inshallah. But the thing was, not to go, when you've all planned everything to go, is just devastating for everyone. Everyone in the family that was booked up to go. I knew so many people that were going to go. Even for Umrah, when it started, Umrah season was starting during Easter time, and it was just complete lockdown. And unfortunately, they lost money, but Allah knows best what's going to happen, inshallah.
Of course, today is the 19th, so you've all been listening to the news. A lot of changes are happening. A lot of freedom has been quoted today. A lot of things are going to change. Some normality is going to slowly be restored. I would say we are almost 80% there, except for the travel abroad, the rules and regulations for quarantine when you come back. So I think some progress is happening.
Alhamdulillah, at the end of the day, we're all looking forward to this Freedom Day, as they were calling it, but it's not completely Freedom Day at the moment, because at the moment it's going to be still everyone wants to get away, wants to fly away anywhere just to get a bit of a holiday or whatever, especially for the people that are going for Hajj as well. What happens when they come back, Allah knows best, they have to go into quarantine, but they won't give any, they don't care. As long as they are there, as you said, if it's 60,000 compared to 3 million.
Of course, 60,000 is mainly from that region in that right now. So right now, today is the day of Arafat, and if I can recall for when I visited, it was hot like this as it is today, even more, maybe hotter, another 5 degrees more, and it was quite difficult. Very difficult. The peace you feel when you are right at the top there,
absolutely,
and all you see is bodies everywhere.
Yeah,
and if you were trying to look for somebody, you had a problem.
No, you're not going to find anyone. At the end of the day, you had a meeting point. And if you lost someone, you just say, meet me at this point at a certain time. Just let me carry on what I'm doing. And it's an individual thing at the end of the day. As I was with my wife as well, she was with the ladies section. And I said, don't ever look out for me. Don't even try to find me. Just do your bit. I'll do my bit. And we all felt better when we returned home in the evening. And after the day of Arafat was a very, very blessed day, as you know it should be.
Of course, inshallah, let's hope that next year we have a changed dynamic, and we'll all benefit from that, Brother Imtiaz. Now, of course, you're very active here in the UK in sports, aren't you?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah.
Even though when people look at me and my age and they say, you're still playing football? You're still playing badminton? You're still playing squash? Yes. I'm just telling everyone, just be active as much as you can, because if you just give up, when I've got my teams and I'm playing with players who are like 16 years old, 17 years old, and when they look at me and they say, Uncle, how old are you? And I say, I'm 59. And they're just like, whoa. But the thing is, I play in goal, which is a bit more less stressing as a player. But at the end of the day, I'm there from all the way right from the beginning to the end. I run badminton classes, I do squash classes, and I get people involved. Because at the end of the day, if you give up, and when I ask people, when was the last time people are when I was at school? No.
Well, you also played cricket, didn't you?
Oh,
very actively.
Cricket was a very loving game to me, and I used to play Saturday and Sunday and Wednesday as well, which is not very good for family time. Because cricket is not a 1 hour game that you can just go and play football and come home. It was all day, 10 o'clock, everyone meet at my house, let's make the sandwiches, let's get everything ready, all the kit was there. and had a young family, and which I did neglect due to sports, which is
Now,
not very good.
earlier on, you mentioned to me that you are an active supporter and have a season ticket at one of the clubs local to you.
Yes.
And I want to ask you a question. Do you have any Asian players in your team?
Absolutely zero.
Zero?
Muslim, yes, but Asian, no.
I see. And what's the reason for that? Because that club is nearly 200 years old, I think.
Absolutely.
Your club.
Yes, unfortunately, in the Premier League or any league that you go down, as you saw last week, racism. Racism does kick in, and Asians, I'm afraid, are at the back of the line of everything. I've had players that I play with now who've had trials with a few clubs, and they never ever made it, and they're very good players. And obviously, they knew that what was holding them back was they went to West Ham, they went to Arsenal, they went to all the North London clubs that were there, Leyton Orient, and unfortunately, they never got that push just to get into the first team or even get in a contract with the clubs. And it's down to racism, unfortunately.
So what do you think, because you're very actively involved in the sport of football and you were actively involved in the cricket, what was the scenario with cricket then?
Cricket was the same thing as well. You have to know the people above. It's who you know.
What you're saying is you got to know a man who knows a man.
Man who knows a man.
Yeah.
And when you know someone like that, then if you can get you through the back door...
Hey, what about if you know a man who knows a woman?
Well, then I don't think it's going to go down that line, because at the end of the day, it's a men-run situation. Even now, if you look at the Football League and the ladies' leagues coming through, the presenters on the TV now, half of them are ladies. During the Euro 2020, you saw every night there was always a lady or two ladies as the panel, because they don't want to start any discrimination. But did you see any Asian women? Any Asian men?
Yeah, there is an Asian woman. In
there
cricket, there is Isa Gohar. She's an Asian. And then Ebony, she's a West Indian.
I haven't seen her.
Yeah, you're not watching the sport.
No.
You got to
I'm not
really...
into cricket that much anymore.
Yeah, of course. Now, obviously, what's your fix on this now?
The fix on this now is that we'll just carry on battling through it. I'm sure there will be a breakthrough. I know here in Leicester you've got Hamza Chowdhury, who's playing for Leicester City. And inshallah, he'll be a role model to everyone. But the thing is, it's just that breakthrough. When they see people, they're scouting them now at 6 years old. Mm. So you know what? When they're scouting you at 6 years old, our parents and our forefathers were never into any sport. My father just hated any kind of sport. And he never encouraged me to play, but I loved it so much. Alhamdulillah, from right the day one when I was at junior school, I've been playing ever since. So that's quite a few years ago I'm talking about.
Your father sounds like he was a DALE.
And DALE means?
Doctor, accountant, lawyer, engineer.
Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, he knew that whatever, if he was alive today, I'd give him Jannah, inshallah. But if he knew what I was doing today, he'd be the most happiest and proudest man ever.
I see. And what are you doing today?
I am now a funeral director in London, and I've got my own company. And alhamdulillah, I've been doing this for 11 years. When my father passed away, I just said, you know what, I need to drop everything and just do this job to help the ummah. And alhamdulillah, 11 years on, I'm still running very strongly, alhamdulillah.
I see, mashallah. Now, you're talking about funerals. During this period and throughout after COVID in March last year, you have seen so many people pass away during the COVID period, haven't you?
It was, in London, it was absolutely mayhem. Especially the first time, we didn't know what hit us. It was like someone getting a baseball bat and smashing it over my head. That's how it hit us so badly. Even the graveyards didn't know what to do. But then when the second time came around, we were all ready for it. And we knew how to help each other, help the families, and make things much easier for the families. When the first time round, we were telling families to wait 1 week, 2 weeks to bury their dead, which was just unbelievable at the time. I couldn't promise anyone anything. And then when the main graveyard over there at Gardens of Peace, they started off with just 4 burials a day. They ended up doing 20 a day, 10 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon. And that was when the backlog had to slow down much lower. Because when you're doing 4, you had a backlog of about 20, 30 per day, which they weren't doing. And that they they didn't do the right thing at the beginning, but they realized that they have to make as many burials as possible. They were even considering doing 30. But once they started 20, the manpower they had, alhamdulillah, they helped the community.
Of course, that is only one graveyard you're
Absolutely,
talking about,
yes.
called Garden of Peace, GOP. But throughout London, there are so many graveyards,
There
right?
is, yes.
And all of them were in the same predicament.
They were, but the main one was Gardens of Peace. But the other ones, they were as busy, and you still have to wait for a time slot. When they were doing shroud burials at all the graveyards in London, during COVID, they said no more shroud burials, coffin burials only. So the coffin prices and everything went sky high.
Of course, we started talking about Hajj, the day of Arafat, the du'as that we make today, and right up to Maghrib time, then some people are fasting today, and we then was discussing about sports, and now look where we are. We're talking about burials,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
And it's not a matter we can ignore.
Definitely
And
not.
it's something that we all need to know about. Do you hold any classes for young people who can become aware? Because I think we should always remember the akhirah.
Absolutely. Well, when in London, there are many classes, especially when it was COVID time, there were classes held for volunteers to get involved in the ghusls. I was teaching people how to do the ghusls. Even during COVID time, all right, we have to wear our PPE gear, we have to have masks, gloves, aprons, everything to make sure we're protected as well. Because at the beginning, when COVID first kicked in, the ulama was saying not to do any ghusls, just do tayammum over the body bag. Families were not seeing their loved ones, families were not taking part in any kind of washing or anything like that. Now, year and a half on, 18 months on, I invite all family members to come forward. During their loved ones, when they've passed away, I always ask them if they want to come along, help with the ghusl. 99.9% always they come forward, men and women.
Now, all of you listening in right now, I know it's Freedom Day today, but everyone's to their own discretion. But I would advise everyone, please do take care and don't slip up. Try to always get into the habit of putting your mask on. And you don't know who will be positive and who is negative. It's a kind of a virus that has no selection procedure, whether you are whatever color you are, creed, tradition, religion, which football team you support. This virus is going to be with us for some time, and all of us have to be absolutely alert all of the time and not slip up. What do you say about our Imtiaz?
Well, I went to the masjid today at Oldby, and they've got some section parted off. And the Imam did ask, if anyone does not want to wear a mask, they can always go and pray in that section over there. I still think, without the mat, without this, without wudu area being open, whatever, I think we still all should take precautions, still wear the mask, and still have that little gap in between. And when this is over, inshallah, as soon as possible, but Allah knows best, we still have to take precautions.
Here's a question that's been asked me on my text, is that if we are going to do Eid tomorrow, open air in the park, whether it's Victoria Park or whether it's Spinney Hill Park, do we wear a mask, right? And Brother Imtiaz, as I just mentioned earlier on, that everyone has to always take precautions.
Absolutely, but the thing is, when you're in open air, that's the issue. When you're in closed spaces like in the masjids, then yes, definitely 100% wear a mask. When, as I said, as I'm a funeral director, I've been to many funerals lately, that when you're in the open air and they're only allowing 30 people, only half of them have got masks on. So it's down to your individual at the end of the day. I still think take precautions, especially if you've got loved ones at home who are vulnerable. You do not want to take anything back home to upset anyone or to catch anything. You don't know. Allah knows best. But the thing is, I still think take precautions, take your mask along with you, and if you feel comfortable, carry on. If you don't feel comfortable, it's up to you. But recommended, keep it on.
So, of course, this is a good advice for all of you. Just take care and be very, very mindful, and try always to avoid a situation where you yourself will be in danger, right? You may have had 2 injections, but still reports are coming that people even with the injection are falling ill.
Exactly, yes.
So everybody, I urge you, request kindly that you take care. And we're not over this yet, and it's early days. We don't have enough research, we don't have enough stats, data to know where we will be in another year's time, Brother Taz.
Inshallah, what we're going to do now is absolutely that, still carry on with the precautions. And obviously for the work I do, I had my injections straight away. And obviously most of the funeral directors did, because we came down as key workers at the end of the day. And when you're dealing with death and dealing with people with COVID, everyone was saying to us, you've got to be careful. So I'm not just saying it for myself, I'm saying for everyone out there, we all must be careful.
Of course, now I've been told that Eid in Pakistan is on Wednesday. Yes? So Wednesday.
Wednesday, so that's Pakistan for you at the day.
Of course, we are now closing this particular section of the program. We have 2 other wonderful guests joining us, and I shall introduce them to all of us. Now, Brother Imtiaz, thank you for joining us today.
Jazakallah
And
khair.
we look forward to your presence once again. And today was just a little introduction. Okay. See you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. That was Brother Imtiaz joining us. He was from a funeral director company called IR Services, and we were discussing with him the merits of Hajj, the merits of Arafat and du'as, and also the situation with tomorrow at either Spinney Hill Park or at Victoria Park for you to do your Salah, Eid Salah. So 9 a.m. is when you have to be there. So try to be there on time, please. And there's a lot of places, a lot of issues with parking. So please be absolutely mindful and don't illegally park. Otherwise, they'll tow your car away, right? We're here on Haj Radio. You're listening to Zed on the Drive Time. 0116-482-2086. If you'd like to call in, ask any questions, please feel free to do so. Or you can text us on 077-48-855-055 here. So I have 2 further guests here today, and I'd like to introduce you to them. To my right here is Zakaria. Assalamu alaikum, Zakaria.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Zakaria, I got to tell Zakaria that you got to be very close to the mic, otherwise people ain't going to hear you. They're going to miss you. So, Zakaria, how are you today?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah.
So, a little introduction about yourself, Zakaria.
Yeah, so...
what, where, when, how?
Oh, okay. So, I was born in Sweden. I grew up in Leicester. Moved in 99. Live in St. Matthews. I grew up there. And I'm an IT professional.
MashaAllah. So, you've had a very swift career, yeah? So, you got to be part of the Swifty generation.
Swifty, what does that mean?
You got to be kidding, Zakaria. You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Honestly,
You know what the Swifty generation is. Now I have here to my left, brother. Your good name is?
Hello everyone. My name's Subain.
Subain. MashaAllah, that is a wonderful name, Subain. It's my honor, my pleasure to meet you here today in
Pleasure's all
Leicester.
mine.
Are you Leicester? Are you based in Leicester?
I am based in Leicester, in Evington actually.
In Evington.
Yeah.
That is the reason why I have not met you before.
Evington's very big, mate.
It is big, and this is the reason why. So, how often are you studying here now in Leicester?
No, so I'll be studying come September, and I'll be moving to London, moving to SOAS to study diplomacy at SOAS University. But my whole life, in terms of where I grew up, where I've pretty much lived all my life, has been in Leicester, in Evington, and in and around Highfields. And
So you're well familiar with the Leicester dynamics, yes?
I am.
Now, you're entering the world of diplomacy, which has a little kick of politics as well, doesn't it?
It does, but in diplomacy you try very hard as a civil servant to be as apolitical as possible. You serve the government of the time, you see.
I see. So diplomats, are they socialists or are they capitalists?
Socialists, I want to say that diplomats have the best interests of the country at heart.
I see. So they play it by ear, right? And
Best interests of the country, I would say.
of course, now he's already learning to be a diplomat.
Yes.
And I think he's already been a politician, whereby he's giving me politician answers, right? We have politicians come on the radio, and they'll always give us an answer like that, you know. Non-committal answers, Zakaria.
Automatic answers.
Yeah. Have you come across that?
Yes, I've come across.
Now, here's a question for both of you. Now, you're from St. Matthews,
Yes.
and you are from Evington.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you simple questions. Here, in Leicester, we have many diversities, right?
Yeah.
In the 70s, when actively the Asians started coming to Leicester, we didn't have many different diversities. We had a Pakistani, a Bangladeshi, an Indian, and you know what we all had in common?
I don't know.
What was our common denominator?
I assume it's religion. Islam, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, you guys from the
no.
subcontinent?
No matter what color brown you were, nobody understood diversities or countries. They just all called us, "Oh, you Paki."
Ah,
That's what they called us. We were all the same,
Okay.
right? That's about the only time we've all been the same, right? But of course, they don't use that kind of language now. They do. Some people are using this kind of wild language here, but in the 70s, we were quite used to it, you know, at school and everything. So we had different dynamics with racism. And each decade, we have different dynamics, you know. Because, Zubayn, you have any skill sets on racism?
in what sense?
So you're going to enter the world of diplomacy, you know, you got to learn about these things.
That's true. But what are you asking me exactly?
The question I'm asking you is, have you ever experienced any racism?
Personally, I have not experienced any form of racism. I would say in Leicester, as multicultural as it is now than as you're purporting back in the 70s. And in the 70s, there was a lot of upheaval, race riots with big names like Brixton and so on in London. So, and for me personally, growing up in the noughties, as we call it, living in a community where most people are of similar faith as me, similar colour as me. I went to Moat Community College, for example. Somalians, Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshi, we were all just enjoying life in essence. So I would personally say I haven't experienced racism living in Leicester. And I've travelled to many places.
Now, Zakaria, that is what I like to hear. How many languages do you speak? You speak
I speak 4 languages at the moment.
English?
English, Somali, even though it's very poor, French and Japanese.
And that is a huge asset. You know, now you have already the toolkit to be a diplomat, right?
I do hope so.
Yeah, all you got to add to that is one more language, is Gujarati, because it's a dominant language in Leicester. Did you know it was the second most spoken language in Leicester?
Yeah, Chemcho.
Oh, there you are. He's doing well. He's doing well. You know, explain to him what that means.
Chemcho means is a Gujarati term to say how are you, and Majama is a reply, which is I think is I'm good.
So I would say Majawa.
Yeah, of course. Here we could be doing a Gujarati class here right now, you know. But
Gujarati 101.
yeah, these two guys are doing quite well. They could teach all of you Gujarati, you know. Brother Zakaria here, he's picked it up very quickly. And where did you learn this Gujarati?
So basically, I went to Al-Aqsa, a Madani high school, and a lot of my fellow students were from Gujarat originally, and yeah, so a lot of them, they taught me some words in Gujarati and that sort of thing.
Of course, that is absolutely brilliant, you know, for you to have picked up these languages. Language is a huge asset here. Now, we have a city of Leicester where we have 40 plus diversities, and I cannot even guess how many languages are spoken amongst those 40 diversities. So the figure has got to be naturally
In the hundreds.
40 plus. So it'll be 40 plus. So the figure, obviously, we'll do a bit of research on that, right? But a guest came in during Ramadan and told me that just at one school on the Melbourne Road, Uplands, I think it was called, that 40 languages were spoken in that school.
Wow.
That means they had done some data and they said all the different diversities we have here, and we have made a list of all the languages, and this is how many languages. Of course, the
like
simple
a mini
question is,
United Nations.
which is the most spoken language in Leicester?
English.
Zakaria didn't fall for that one, did he?
No.
He was on the ball.
On the ball there.
He was on the ball. Of course, That all comes with his IT technician training that he has acquired.
So I'm an analyst at heart, so I analyze data and objectively observe it, so nothing seeps through in between anywhere.
Zakaria is my man. I'm a man who always says knowledge plus data equals?
Perfection.
Equals?
Intelligence, perfection.
He's close. He's close. Here at the radio, we say knowledge plus data is the PMS, right? You know what that is?
PMS.
Zubain? Yeah?
No, PMS.
P for power.
Power.
M for
Muscles.
money.
Money. Okay.
And S for?
You're putting me on the spot here.
Of course I am. You're going to be a diplomat. You got to get used to it, right? Here, we got to catch you.
True. Strength. Let's go.
No. It means success.
Success.
So you have knowledge, you have data, you'll have power. You'll have money, you'll have success. Without all of that, you can forget it. In tomorrow's Swifty, well, today is the Swifty generation. You know, both of you are born. Were you born in the 90s or the?
Born in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
90s, yeah. So, you know, you're just just qualified to get into that Swifty generation, right? Those 2000 models, they are definitely Swifties, but the 90 models, right, they are just introduced to the Swifty generation, which is, you know what that means, Zubain?
I'm guessing
50.
modern technology.
No.
Millennials.
No, we got to brush him up on his diplomatic skills, because if we're going to send a diplomat out from Leicester to be a future diplomat, we got to step him up on the Swifty, which is a Snapchat, the WhatsApp, Instagram. Come on,
Twitter.
give it to me. WhatsApp, yeah.
Swifty.
TikTok, Twitter,
YouTube. Yes.
TikTok.
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Go on. You say it now. Give it to me. SWIFTY. Go on.
Goodness, this is too much pressure. Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
No, it's TikTok, Twitter.
Tick-
Yeah, it's a
TikTok.
double whammy there. TikTok, Twitter.
There's 2 T's in there.
Yeah,
I
there's.
was not
Yeah.
expecting that.
You can say one T, but you just got to say it together. TikTok, Twitter, right?
TikTok,
Now,
Twitter. Hyphenated.
we got to train him. You got to train him up, right? And bring him up to speed with the world of the Swifty generation, right?
trying
Where
to, yeah, I've been
everything they want to do is fingertip. Now,
I'm too
there,
behind.
I tell you what, there is a problem in that generation. And what's that, Zakaria? What's the problem with that generation?
They've got a deficit of attention, like the attention span, is very low. They can't focus on anything for a while. So if you ask anyone if they read books, for example, a lot of people do read books, but they would find it hard to read any books because there's online videos of those books. There's audio. What's that thing called again? Where Amazon has it.
Audible.
Or Audible, that sort of thing. That's available. So I think that's what you're getting at, I think.
Yeah, of course. Now, what it is, the biggest problem this generation has is like when we are mentoring young people into profession or into entrepreneurship, right? And the problem we have is, the first problem we have is wake up. Yeah, wake up. We, in our deen, are conditioned to wake up for
Fajr.
Fajr. Or what time is Fajr today?
3 o'clock.
Exactly.
Nicely
So
done.
we don't wake up, we're in trouble, right? And then second one is dress up. Well, of course, how are you going to dress up if you ain't woke up? And the third one is show up on time.
Punctuality.
Yeah? Now, these are the 3 straits. If you can't get one done, 3 you won't get done. And then you're in trouble, right? You need that ingrained into our young people today. So all of you parents who are listening in right now, am I talking about your children or am I talking about you? So these are the footsteps all of us have got to take. If we take positive footsteps forward, our generation behind us will take the positive footsteps. Now today, if all of us who are older, we are not the Swifty generation, but we have way past that. We were 70s models or 60s models. Model means like what year you were born, which decade you were born. This country has seen a change. Every 10 years, there's been a change, right? So recently, we all saw the word racism spelt out loud and clear with Rashford, with Saka, with all these 3 players, right? Just for the game of football. Imagine if all 3 of them would have scored goals. What would the scenario be, Zakaria?
Scenario would be we are not racist. We chose them. The manager chose them because of their background, and he was diverse, that sort of thing, and they would have praised us for their ethnic backgrounds for scoring the goals and making England win the game on the cup. Sorry. So.
Of course, I've got a message here on my text saying that Zed, I would like you to ask them a question that you normally ask all the time, and you've not asked them the question. Of course, that question is referring to is what are the numbers of the Somali community in Leicester? How many Somalis do we have in Leicester currently?
All right, so
That's a very
last
good
time
question.
I checked, I'm referring this to the Somali report, Somalis in Leicester report that came out in 2014. And to my knowledge, at that time, there was about 100,000, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, in Leicester?
Just in Leicester. Might be wrong. So
Zubain, I've got to skip you very quickly now and move on to Zakaria, right? Because your answer is one that has failed you the exam of being a diplomat, right? I'm worried about you, Zubain. Zakaria, help him out. Help him out.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because babies are being born every single day, so I can't give an exact number on that, but I get back to you on it later on. Yeah,
I will take you up on that. I'll take you up on that. Now, of course, I'm sitting here on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Of course, I have the answer, don't I? And would I ask you a question which I don't know the answer to? Right? How many professors do you know that do that? Right? Of course, I have the answer, but I don't want to share it with you in public, live on radio. We'll share it another time. But let's give him a little push, right? That in Leicester, the population in the city of Leicester equates to 359,000 to between 400,000. So 100,000,
half of them are
100,000 of them are not Somalis.
They're not.
They're not at all. So I know you want that.
I've been away far too long.
Because I think there's 61,000 Muslims in the city. And
No,
Somalis are Muslims,
No, you got that wrong there because my daughter, she gave birth just 6 days ago,
You're right,
and
sorry.
one young boy was born, Omar, and you've left him out.
Yeah, I left him out. I
Well,
apologize.
Jazakallah khair. Now the figure is about 76,000. That's the correct figure. But all of you at home, of course, right now I know you're all on that Swifty on the Google and you're checking out exactly what the numbers are. But what you'll get there on Google, on one of the systems, you'll get a figure which is old, out of date. So the new census came in 21 and it will give you a better result. Yes? And you will all be better for it. And what do you say? Do you think the city will become majority ethnic?
They do say that it's most multicultural city in the country. So if that's the case, then yeah, at some point, this city will be majority ethnic minorities, if that's the right way to put it. I think
Zubain, we need to help you, train you up to be a diplomat for the city of Leicester. You need to travel the world to showcase our city, to show them the brilliance of this city. Right? Now, say, from all the Somalis that came to this city, one Somali inspired another one to come here. What would his name be, for example? Let's say.
Putting me on the spot.
What name comes to the top of your head?
Of someone who inspired us to come.
Yeah. Who would that be?
I can't give you an answer to that.
a Somali, it'll be Abdi. That comes to my head.
Zakaria, you better come and sit here where I'm sitting. He's hitting all the right answers. Yeah?
Definitely.
I'll tell you what, guys. I think today I just have this positive energy in me to say that you guys, you got to come and do a program here. Right? Yourselves. Now I'm going to speak to our producer there and tell them, look, these two are a dynamic team. They are the ones who are going to inspire the Swifty generation to come forward, to become innovators, to become inventors, and to be creative. What I feel from both of you is creative energy. What we need in our community is innovation, creation. Yes?
Yes.
And is that going to benefit us?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Right? So we can get all our youngsters on a platform and work with them. So we're going to come back to you on both and ask you a question right now. Are you aware of the Power 50?
Power 50?
Yeah, the Power 50.
Power 50?
Okay, Power 50 is a program which was initiated here on Haj Radio and Radio in Leicester, is to create, to innovate 50 young entrepreneurs stroke professionals.
Okay.
Right? Put them on their journey of success. Right? And who's going to do that is the experienced people in the city.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are responsible for the YTT.
Which is?
Yesterday, what happened yesterday?
Today, tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow. What we do today, Zubain, Zakaria, what we do today collectively will define tomorrow. The footsteps we take today, if they are the wrong footsteps, we are going to be in trouble. Right? The people who follow us, wrong footsteps, they're also going to go astray. Right? So everybody who's there from the 70s, 60s, 80s, you are all responsible together with me to define a better tomorrow for our city. And if we all can't work together, how are we going to get others to work with us?
That's
right?
True. That's true.
When I say all of us, meaning from these areas that you mentioned to me, Evington, St. Matthews, and all the four corners of the city of Leicester, right? It's only 400,000 people. If you go to a city of Karachi, it's 20 million population there. 20 million.
That's a lot, yeah.
Right? This is one city. The population of Shanghai. What's the population in Tokyo?
In Tokyo, put me on the spot again.
Come on, Zubain, I've got to stress it.
So it should be about 80 million.
That's
No, it's not. It's 100 or so million.
no,
It's
no,
bigger
no,
than
no,
London.
no.
I know that for-
Please, I got to stop you there, right?
Goodness,
Guys,
you're putting me in the
guys,
spot.
knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, right? KIP. Say it.
KIP.
Say it.
KIP.
Yeah. What does it mean when you put it together?
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Now, you guys, you got to rehearse that intensively because these are the kind of questions you're going to get hit with, right? And Zubain here, you can't be Googling now. That's not fair. I know we're on radio here, right? And some people often say to me, look, when I come on radio, do I need to brush my hair? Do I need to brush my teeth before I come on?
Yeah.
And they get a little bit confused, and we don't want that. Radio, you just got to have pure, strong, positive energy. You got to have the CPD. Are you with the CPD? Right? Are you with the CPD? Right?
I am, yes.
Give it to us. Tell us. Explain to us. Explain to the listeners out there.
CPD means change is profession.
You are doing well, but you are nearly there in a business.
Yeah.
CPD is continuous professional development.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you both are going to come here and talk to the people of Leicester, right? And I'm saying to you, people of Leicester, I am not saying to you that we're only going to talk to people in Evington. We are going to go LNG. We're going to start local, then we're going to go national, and then we're going to go global, right? We're going to tell our brothers and sisters in Mogadishu, we have here 2 aspiring young people who are going to connect with you, and they're going to find us. Now, here with the CPD is commitment, passion,
Yeah.
Desire.
Success.
dedication, Zubain. These are the skill sets we need to develop, right?
Yes.
And if you don't have that, success will run from you. If you want success to be your friend, you want to embrace success, Zakaria,
Yeah, I do.
right? How hungry are you?
I'm very hungry. I'm starving.
Well, you come closer to the mic and
I'm,
share that
I'm
with me.
very hungry. I'm starving. I want that.
You want that. What about you, Zubain?
It is what drives me. Success and what I'm hoping to achieve is inherent to me. It's what
Now,
guides me.
guys, it's my duty to support you and help you in your future endeavors. And if I'm able to do that, you know what? Maybe Allah will be pleased with me.
Yes. As Spain's witness, I'd hold you to that. I'd hold you to it.
Yeah, of course. And I'm happy to do that. And there's nothing that pleases more to see young people going forward. And when I have a young person from one corner of the world and another from another corner of the world, and there's a lot to do, a lot of work to do with them to give them awareness of their social environment, social intelligence, their political environment. One of the disappointing things is that young people are not stepping forward to take part in the political engagement in their city, right? For example, how many areas we have in Leicester City?
Wards, you mean?
Yeah.
We've got 55.
Right.
Of which 52 are Labour, 1 Independent, and 1 Liberal Democrat.
No, that.
That's my knowledge.
Okay.
The wards, the council
We have
wards.
54 councillors
Yeah.
in our city council.
Yeah.
52 are
Oh,
Labour.
54, okay.
Yeah, and one is Independent, one is a Lib Dem.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So not 55, 54 is it?
54, yeah.
Okay, my apologies.
And of course, do you think it makes a difference who is there as a councillor representing the community?
Yes,
Does
it does. Yeah.
Why? Why does it make a difference?
Because if he hasn't got what you said, passion, drive to actually help his community,
Yeah.
that will.
No, I'm asking a question in another way. You're on the right track.
Yeah.
Is that, does he have to be a person of a denomination, of a tribe,
No, of course
of a
not.
section, of a community,
Of course not. No.
right?
No. He has to be a human being who's willing to help his community. He just needs to be a human being who's willing to help his community in the best way he can,
Well,
or she can.
I would agree with that, and I'll say as long as the individual has the best interests of Leicester at heart.
right, guys, you have already passed the interview to join the Power 50.
Oh,
Right, both of you. That was the one quality that you need apart from the wake up, dress up, show up on time. Yes?
Yes.
This was the second quality that you need in order to join the Power 50 and make a difference. Now, if we can empower 50 young people into professions and into business, then they will empower the next 50, right? And isn't that a change that we in the city of Leicester can showcase to the whole wide world? Yeah? So we've gone from local, we've gone national, right?
to global.
To global. So do we collectively have the capacity to achieve that?
100%.
Why? Because we need to develop the passion. When we have intention, Allah is with us. We have good intention, right? A good intention not based on being selfish, on self-enrichment or self-interest, then our partner is Allah. Allah is not partner, but Allah is guiding us then. Allah is helping us. You understand?
Yes.
So guys, you can take the floor now and then you can follow afterwards because we only have 47 seconds left.
So,
Okay, so I'll start first. As you guys know, my name is Zach, and hopefully my goal is to become a community leader. I help my community achieve what they want to achieve.
Yourself?
and my name is Sabine, and together with Zach, we hope to engage with the community more on civic engagement and on identity. So our new show hopefully will be discussing issues inherent and issues deeply connected to all of us. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Of course, we will also be pursuing to do a podcast. So all of you brothers and sisters will join you, not tomorrow because it's Eid tomorrow, but the day after on Wednesday, right? So Jazakallah khair for joining us now. And on behalf of all three of us here, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.